Hi guys, welcome back to the Space Age. If you are new to Space Age Tarot, I welcome you here to this part of the universe where we read tarot and talk about spiritual things. And today I want to do another one of these inspired messages. Yes, I was very inspired. I was literally just watching the Vampire Diaries and I was like, ooh, I just want to do a reading. And I don't even it's weird. When I'm not making these videos, suddenly it's like this part of my life just kind of blanks out and then suddenly it's there. And that's kind of when I know that there's a message that needs to get out to some of you guys. I know that some of you guys are you resonate with this channel, and that's not everybody that's subscribed. But that doesn't matter. I feel I kind of like this whole small knit thing that's been happening. It's I'm you guys are getting these very specific messages because it's not so broad. I feel there are these messages where there's a small knit community of spirit guides communicating with each other, and I like that because I can kind of get more specific. So yeah, today I'm going to be doing another reading, but I want to think of this reading as storytelling. I heard someone describe tarot as storytelling, and I was like, yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm kind of personally speaking, I don't mind doing prediction readings, but I feel prediction readings kind of, for me, at least for me, I'm not that excited about them because for one, I feel how can you predict? And I feel every time I watch a prediction reading for myself, for example, I feel I resonate with it, but that's how I resonate right now in the present moment. And tarot is always reflecting you in the now. So I feel a lot of the times, it'll feel super accurate. That's what's happening the month ahead. But you know what? Personally, I feel my spiritual team is totally not going to let me go through a month knowing exactly what's going to happen. I feel I'm always being surprised, and I feel it takes away the mystery of what's going to happen. And there's a certain point at which it's exciting to know, but I feel now it's just for me at least, it's just not that exciting to know what's going to happen to you in the future. I don't know, does anyone else feel this way? I know it's really weird because I'm doing all these tarot readings and stuff, but I don't know if I really do I don't know. It's more I'm just kind of reading the energy a lot of the time, but I guess I kind of wanted to focus in more on that because I don't know, I just feel it's better to read the energy, because sometimes when I hear something it's oh, this is gonna happen, suddenly I just don't feel it's gonna happen because I feel the things that have always been amazing for me in my life I wasn't expecting. If I saw something in my head oh, it might play out like this, it never played out that way. I feel I've always been surprised, if something good's gonna happen or whatever's gonna happen. So today's video is definitely going to be really off the cuff for you guys. Yeah, we're gonna probably get some specific messages. I don't know what's coming up, but whenever it's inspired like this, I feel there's just something that needs to come up for somebody, and I'm so happy to share the message. I find it really fun to just sit down and do this and storytell, tell these stories. So yeah, let's get some insight from the spiritual network. Okay, I'm gonna take off my onesie really quick, or take off the top half because it's really warm, and we will get into the reading. Okay, so starting off, I'm gonna shuffle some of these Black Moon astrology cards. It's so funny. I put this away wrong recently, and this is dude, okay. So this was in the wrong deck. You see the back of the card? I must have put this away wrong a while ago. Must have been using these at the same time. But look what came up right at the top. Be honest with yourself. That's from a deck I wasn't even gonna shuffle today. Okay. Be honest with yourself. See, you know what? There's a reason why I was like pulled to this, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pull this particular deck first. I never pull this astrology deck first. It's always like one of the last things I pull. And I was like, okay, I want to use this deck today. And what do you know? Be honest with yourself. And the number 17, that's my favorite number. Right here, 17. I don't know why it's my favorite number. We can break it down numerologically, but I still don't understand sometimes. All right, let's shuffle these astrology cards. So some of you guys really need to be honest with yourselves. Or if you're here, you need to be honest with yourself about something. That's a shout out. That's like spirit shouting at you. I can hear like spirit literally just shouting at you like, please. This is the time. There's never been a better time for this. I'm sensing that some of you guys really need to work on your I heard like solar plexus imbalance. So yeah, your solar plexus deals with, you know, your sense of self, your confidence, your self-esteem. Something might be running down your self-esteem because it's not necessarily for you, and it's time for you to confront that. Virgo, I analyze. Yeah, you definitely need to analyze the situation. You really do. Yeah. You know, it's like Virgo is like the fall, right? In the zodiac, the fall. And it's still on like that golden horizon part of the zodiac, but you know, Virgo, they say that, you know, Virgo, I mean, in my occult studies, you know, I've learned that Virgo can often symbolize like Lucifer, for example, or like Venus. I think I've heard Venus because, you know, the morning star is Venus. Also, you know, Jesus was described as a morning star, and then so is Lucifer, right? But Lucifer is oftentimes more notably denoted as the morning star. And I feel like it's like, you know, we see Virgo here represented with wings, right? She's got wings here in this representation. And it almost makes you think of Daedalus, right? Flying too close to the sun. You don't want your wings to melt. But I think the sense here that I'm getting is like something about like a fall. Like you're meant to harvest. You're meant to be abundant. But somehow it's like you're getting to, and it's so funny, I was talking about the solar plexus and then getting too close to the sun. Like I feel like this has something to do with like you not being connected enough to your inner knowing, your inner self, your inner feelings, your emotional authority. You have to think about where your emotions are at. You guys are not analyzing your emotions enough. Be honest with yourself, Virgo, I analyze. You guys are not being open enough with your emotions. That is what's going on right now. When you feel an emotion pass through your body, you don't even feel it. You don't even notice it's happening. Some of you guys just like completely have been ignoring it for years. Oh, ignoring it for years. I'm sensing that. Yeah, you guys have been like letting yourself down, I hear. Letting yourself down. This message isn't for everybody, right? Because, you know, just because you're following my channel, by the way, and some of you guys might be faithful viewers. I know some of you guys are faithful viewers, but just because you're a faithful viewer does not mean that this is for you. This is not a pick a card reading where it's like if you were drawn to click on this video, if you clicked on it just like out of habit or whatever, that's totally fine. But definitely don't take on a message that doesn't resonate with you. Sometimes I personally get annoyed when I'm like, I don't know, if I like click on something and like it doesn't resonate and I feel like it's like not my energy. So just if it's not feeling like it's you, then don't feel obligated to stay, right? We have Neptune, sacrifice. Okay. That looks like Virgo again, like the Virgin, like this Queen Neptune sacrifice. You guys have been sacrificing yourselves, I see. I was just talking about Jesus, right? Like almost on the cross or something. And like this fall energy, it's like you guys are taking on so much of something that you're becoming like a martyr. She looks like she's like a martyr to a cause. Not you guys. Yeah. What's going on here? Like she almost seems like she's like a statue. Like this is her after she's been memorialized. Some of you, or part of this message, not some of you, part of this message is that you guys will be memorialized. But do you want to be... I feel like this is all about service, because also Virgo is also like the servant energy, right? They like the servants of the earth, right? And I feel like with this right here, it's like there's this queen, you know, the servant and the queen, servant becoming the queen and stuff. But I feel like this is saying like this is your highest potential. This is your completion. We have the 10 here, and this is the 9, and this is the 10, right? 8, 9, 10. But I feel like you guys really need to put yourselves first, right? Flying too close to the sun here means don't do too much. Do not burn yourself out. Like I'm almost seeing like a solar flare. Like there's like a solar flare, like almost like too much energy, like a sun, like the solar plexus, like this sun that's what I was feeling, like getting too close to the sun. I was like, why is the solar plexus like flaring, right? And it's like you might be doing too much. You might be overexerting yourself. Your will is what I heard. Your will. You guys might be forcing something too much. You might be forcing someone to come along. You might be trying to raise everyone up with you. You might be forcing something to happen that's not happening. I almost get like this is an 8. I almost get like an 8 of cups moment where it's like you finally have like assessed all of your circumstances, and you finally realizing it's time to walk away, right? Like it's time to walk away, because whatever you're getting away from, it's like you're reaching a new level, right? So you have to sacrifice something to get there. You even have like this trident like thing, this pitchfork, this Neptune symbol, the trident. It's almost like you've got to like sacrifice something. You know what's funny? I see like, do you see that? Like there's like an arm there, like 2 arms. It looks like like a man on a cross, doesn't it? Like there's a cross and there's like these 2, like an arm here, and there's like an arm there, and then this is like the body. Yeah, it's like sacrificing. Yeah. You might even have to sacrifice an aspect of yourself, is what I'm seeing. Maybe the part of you that's like sympathizing with someone else or something. Too much. Saturn truth. Do I even have to like, sometimes I'm like, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like I don't even have to say anything. Be honest with yourself. Truth. The truth comes out. The truth always comes out. Right? The truth always comes out. Live in truth. If you're living in lies, it's going to catch up with you. Speaking of lies, I was literally, so I don't know if you guys know who Jordan Peterson is. I was almost not going to say it because I know a lot of people hate Jordan Peterson because for some reason there's like this propaganda of lies about like what he stands for and represents. And it's so crazy to me that like people, I've literally encountered so many people who actually have never even heard him talk about anything, and they think he's like literally the worst. And I'm like, that's actually like insane, because I actually formed my opinion about him on my own, and I'm like, dude, this guy has a lot of great things to say. He actually kind of reminds me of like a male teal swan, and like it's kind of interesting. And it's usually people that are really like telling the truth, oftentimes the truth of humanity, that oftentimes get shunned, right? They get like all kinds of shit said about them. I almost didn't talk about it because I'm like, oh my god, what if there's someone here who's like super anti Jordan Peterson? Honestly, like, I gotta live in my truth too if I'm gonna tell you to live in your truth. So the reason why I brought this up, Jordan Peterson up, is because there's something that he always says. He says, you can oftentimes find the point at which everything in your life fell apart by going back to the source of the lie, right? And he's basically saying, like, if someone, oftentimes when he's dealing with his patient, he's a clinical psychologist, right? So he's like, oftentimes when I'm dealing with my patients, we can trace back where all of the problems started by going back to the lie that began it all. So when did that lie get spoken, right? And I've known people whose lives have fallen apart by living incomplete lies, right? And so the spiritual consciousness, the spiritual network that is like channeling this message through me right now is telling you, it's telling this consciousness here right now, those of you that are present, and you guys are all connected to each other here too. You're not alone in like experiencing these things that are happening. Everyone, you know, that's resonating with this message right now, you guys ought to know that you need to live in your truth, because Saturn is the Lord of karma, right? And what does he do? He teaches you the hard lessons. And there are lots of hard lessons to be learned through lies. And this doesn't mean that you are a liar or something like that. But be honest with yourself could mean that you are not walking in the path for you. Maybe you're in a relationship with the wrong person. Maybe you're in going down a path that isn't right with you. You don't feel good about it. Maybe the friends you're surrounded with aren't great friends. Maybe the home you live in isn't something you like. You know, it might not be any of the things you just heard, but there might be something that is not aligned within you that isn't your truth. And it's up to you to start looking deeper, because I sense a lot of you guys have been shutting yourself down, ignoring yourself. And you know what's happening? Like, your solar plexus energy, for a lot of you, is going haywire. So a lot of you guys have been sacrificing yourselves. This has so many meanings, this sacrifice card. Some of you guys have been sacrificing yourselves to make other people happy. Some of you guys have been not sacrificing the right things. Maybe you guys aren't willing to make any sacrifices, right? You have to interpret that for yourself. But it's the truth is pretty close to the tip of the tongue for you guys. It's very near, because you can see that if she just like moves her fingers, she'll just like scream out the truth. Her hands are the only thing that is blocking her from, you know, expelling the truth from inside of her. Okay, so this is like coming out sharply. What do I want to do next? Did I bring out like 2 different tarot decks? We're gonna do 2 different tarot decks. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Judgment in reverse. Oh my gosh. Guys. Like, it's so crazy when you like, thank you so much, Spirit. Thank you guys so much for like being here and sharing these messages with us, sharing these messages with you guys. I'm so glad that Spirit, you are here right now sharing this with us, because honestly, this help was needed. You know, this, at least it needs to be a seed planted, right? Maybe you can't act on it right now. Not everyone is in the same situation. We have the Judgment in Reversed card, okay? The Judgment in Reverse is about you ignoring the call. And I feel like that's just like the most obvious like statement you can say about the Judgment in Reverse. But this is a major arcana card here, which is saying like, Spirit is saying like, we have presented you this information many times. You can go back in your mind through various events and see what has occurred. You can see where the path has just, it's like you're almost walking, like taking one step forward, two steps back, right? And with this card right here, this is Spirit saying like, you know, okay? We have the Knight of Cups. For some of you guys, this is a romantic situation. For some of you guys, this would be a romantic situation, in part. But this can also be the relationship you have with yourself. But in terms of romantic situation, let me set these cards down. Oh, this was the Mystic Mondays Tarot, by the way. With this Knight of Cups card in reverse, this is like giving your energy to someone who's emotionally unavailable, perhaps. And this could be you not being emotionally available with yourself, which could lead you to giving your time and energy to someone who's emotionally unavailable. Sorry, I have like a basil seed in my mouth. I just had some yogurt and I put some basil seeds on it. I'm sorry. I heard they're better than chia seeds, like properties wise, so I've been having them pretty okay. Okay, so eating seeds is a pastime activity. The toxicity of our city. So maybe there's been some toxicity that you guys have been allowing to pervade in your life for too long. We have the World. A brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that is now complete. I don't get the World very often, but I've been getting it recently, and that's because we are shifting. We are shifting. I don't want to expand it too much. I don't want to overinflate it, because I've honestly seen it. Like, I made a video about it, but honestly, like, I think like the week after I made my video, it just started blowing up. Everyone's like, oh my God, 2022. And like, for me, it's kind of a pet peeve, like when people are like, oh my God, this year sucks, next year will be better. I'm not someone who likes to hear that, because it's like any time could be better, you know? But I do feel like there is like this energy that's happening. There's a lot of events that are going to happen, and we know that. It's kind of a given with everything going on. So it's like, it's nothing like, I don't know, it's nothing mind-boggling, but I'm almost just like, it's been so overhyped or whatever, or like the expectation has been risen to like such a high level that it's now my responsibility, like with all the videos that are being made and TikToks and content of everyone being like, oh my God, 2022, like it's like my responsibility now to just be like, okay, let's reel it in and be present, and whatever happens, happens. Okay, let's not give any expectation. only to our feelings and emotions in the now. We must be present, we must be patient, but we must not be waiting for anything. So patience is kind of like moot at that point, right? Okay. What else is going on, Spirit? So I haven't talked about the world. That's why Spirit is not shuffling or popping out any cards. Okay. You literally have it all. And that's what you're not seeing. We saw that with this card, Neptune Sacrifice. Like I said, you have like this, almost like this statue in your name. I'm like seeing like this future timeline, almost like this very sci-fi, like a Grecian sci-fi timeline, where like you literally have like statues in your name, like Dune vibes, Dune aesthetic. And it's like, you guys have literally infinite potential, and that's like the most basic thing to say, but that's the reality of literally everyone. Yet you have the privilege to know that. Okay? Everyone has a call they can answer to. But you have been privy to many occasions of being aware of it, being able to access it in your mind. There are so many people out here that are just like straight up NPCs, right? Or at least that's how they behave. Like it really gives, sometimes people are like out here and let me tell you, like they just, you really do have to wonder. Part of you doesn't want to be like, okay, they're really an NPC, but you're just like walking around and you're like, okay, there's really nothing going on in there, is there? Until you activate them, of course. But it's like, you guys have been privy to this knowledge, and it's your responsibility to go deeper. And that doesn't mean that it's going to happen easily right now, but you knowing it is what's important. You being honest with yourself is what's important. Getting to the truth of it all. I think it's so important that we stop listening to others as much and start listening to ourselves. Just like the Jordan Peterson example. If I had listened to everyone else, you know, if I had listened to all the think pieces and haters, whatever, I would have never come to my own conclusions, right? But in general, you know, I'm not someone who hates on people, so I can hear people out. So that's like a good thing. But ultimately, it's like a lot of people are just not there for that. And so it's up to you to not pass that kind of judgment on things. So sometimes you guys might even be getting access to information, but you don't hear it because you're passing a biased judgment about it. And that's leading you to like go in a different direction. And that's completely normal. That's completely normal, but it's something that you guys are being made aware of so that you can step forward not doing that. And that's definitely not all of you. Some of you guys are like literally like not on that, you know, that wave. But if you are, and you're like, okay, I can't listen to this because, oh, such and such thing is evil, or this is like bad, it's only going to harm you, right? And honestly, this has been my rule of thumb, like for like many, many years, like several decades. If most people like something, or if most people not like something, a lot of people like ice cream, if most people agree on something like a concept or an idea, you should really be doing some research on it, right? Like if most people are falling under like a spell or something, or like, oh yeah, like that is like your cue to like do some research and like really investigate. Because really, when do people agree on these kinds of things, right? Okay, so let's get some archetype cards. Okay. Ooh, we have bully. That's kind of funny. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. So some of you guys might be, this isn't like, oh, you're a bully. It's like, honestly, I feel like everyone, if you're watching this video, like, you can probably relate. Your energy is that, like, intense. I mean, we have the alchemist and the prince popping up. You probably intimidate a lot of people. A lot of people are probably intimidated by you because look at you. Like, you are preparing to be, like, you're in, like, the gestation period, right? Of being, like, this figure that's leading people. You're making the sacrifices other people won't make. That's what's going on. You never thought you could be that strong, but here you are. Like, here you did all of these things, passed all of these tests, you know? You weren't even being tested sometimes. Sometimes it was just like you just being like next level on your own. And that's why, like, this new world was coming up. I think that was like the end of the road for you guys, because, like, honestly, no other cards wanted to come out of that deck. And honestly, the world popping up is like so timely right now. It's kind of crazy. But we have bully here, which highlights your tendency to intimidate others. And it's crazy to think about it, but you know, if you guys are intimidating other people, it's because oftentimes they are projecting onto you the idea that you are great. And it's because they can sense that from you. And then we have alchemist here. Like, this is like the magician card. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. Absolutely. You guys are becoming so, like, enlightened here in this life experience. You guys are experiencing, like, new wisdom. I'm sensing that those of you that chose this pile, you guys are like, you're not like anyone else around you. And you know it. Like, even the people you're close to, you might have like really deep connections with people, but you know that it's like, it's a different thing. And that doesn't mean that you need to go on some ego trip at all. This is just highlighting the fact that you guys are like able to do things that other people just are not able to do. Not everyone is capable of doing what you're able to do. That's just the reality. And this is like very much so on a spiritual level. Okay? And I feel like this alchemist card here, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, this is talking about, in part, it's talking about what it's saying right there, but in part, it's talking about how you have gone through all of these things, these trials, these tribulations, and this trial by fire, and you guys are coming out on the other side like this wizened figure that people look up to. Your aura, it's like indigo, violet, like it's a very high frequency aura. You know, it might not even be one of those colors, but you have a very high frequency colored aura. But I'm sensing, like, at least right now, you guys are occupying like this indigo, blue, violet, high frequency color. And people can sense you emitting that. And so this bully thing here, it's like a lot of times people can't handle your energy, and so they might turn against you or something, or they might lash out because they feel inferior. They shouldn't, but it's what's happening when people can do what you can do. Everyone has their own thing, but not everyone is like stepping up to the cause, right? That's why we have this judgment in reverse. You have the option to do that, and that's why you're being called to do that. But other people, they haven't even, like, when they heard the call, they shut it out so violently. They couldn't hear it. But you had to hear it. That's what I'm getting. We have Prince here. Romantic charm and potential for power. So some of you guys are actually very, like, part of what you guys have, that's why I get like this sense of like you being like this figure people look up to. Like that you'll have like statues one day. It's like part of your power is like you have like this impressive beauty, like this charm about you, this charisma. And some of you guys might not even agree with that, but it's interesting because like right before I did this video, I watched like this like TikTok, and this girl was saying that there are certain like signs and placements that become like more attractive later in life, right? And that's making me think of you guys right now. It's like some of you guys that are like, huh? Like some of you guys might be going through a glow up right now. And that's actually very important. It sounds very shallow, but in a lot of ways, it's like it can be an effective tool. Like I heard like there's like a lot of debate about like female heroines, for example, in action movies, and how sometimes like female characters are like turned into like men with boobs in a way, like where like they're just like super aggressive and like beating up on people. And it's making me think of like Scarlett Johansson in Marvel. I mean, she seems a little like her commentary recently about her being Black Widow seems like she didn't like that she was sexualized. But it's kind of interesting because like a part of what female power, and you guys aren't all female, I know that, but I'm just using this as an example. Part of what like female power can be sometimes is seduction, right? And it can be male power too. I mean, like, honestly, like, you know, there's a lot of guys that are very, very seductive, right? And seduction can also be a power. Yeah, I guess like for like women, like some women that are like, you know, they're tired of being sexualized, you know, it's almost kind of demonized, this like ability, this power. But the reality is like in Marvel, for example, the reason why she infiltrated, you know, Tony Stark, like in like what movie was it? Iron Man? I didn't watch Iron Man. I didn't really like it. But she infiltrated his entire corporation because she was attractive. That was a part of her like power, right? It was a very like feminine energy. And I don't mean feminine energy as in like female body, but feminine energy as in like magnetism, being alluring, right? Drawing things to you. And that's one of the things that I'm sensing for you guys. There might actually be a physical manifestation of your magnetic energy, right? And so this is like, I also want to just say here, because I don't want to like just inflate people's egos, you know, just to like make you, like I do want to make you feel really good about yourselves, but I want you guys to know that like what I'm talking about has to do with where your spirit resonates, like that frequency in which your spirit resonates. Like, I could totally see some of you guys just being like complete nerds too, you know? And that's like honestly how I am. But there's like a certain frequency at which you emanate things, right? And that's what I'm reading right here. And some of you guys are really like this in the real world, right? And this is like such a beautiful energy to be embodying. So I'm gonna pull, I think, some last cards here with these angel cards. So I want to pull some angel cards for you guys just to get like some angelic frequency messages, although I'm sure like some other benevolent spirits from your spiritual team will chime in as well. So what can we know? What is important to know at this time? Especially about being honest. Like, what advice can you give to the people here today, the amazing people here today, about being honest within the next few weeks? Okay? Yeah. I don't even want to elaborate. I feel like I shouldn't even elaborate on this. I feel like this is what I'm talking about. There needs to be like an element of surprise. I feel like there needs to be surprise here. Some of you guys are like, no. We have yes. That's popping up here. An exclamation of yes. That's so funny. We have like this sun. Like the sun and then like this earth in our hands. I feel like this kind of like, it looks like a new world. Weird. I know, it's like it's like almost like shifting into a new reality is what I get. We had in the near future and forgiveness underneath yes. That might resonate for some of you guys. All right, and then last thing, we have meditation brings answers. So for those of you that were wishing for me to like go deeper on this, meditate. It can't be easy for you guys. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like it's my responsibility, at least on my channel, to like not, create like spiritual weakness in others in a way. Like it's not like something that I could do anyway. It's not like I have the power to do that for anybody. But like, we all have to do the work, because sometimes like I'll really want to know something, and you know what really brings the answers? Meditation. So like, sometimes like these readings, they're good for like, Spirit doesn't want you to be out here alone. We're all a team working together, right? We're sharing our things, but I feel like it is a surprise, right? And I feel like the meditation here is like Spirit is saying, like, if you want to really know some stuff you're not even expecting, this is where it's at. Meditation. Like, I've been meditating recently, and I never used to meditate like a lot before. And I haven't even meditated a lot now, but I've been meditating more frequently than usual. And it's like, it's honestly shocking, because you honestly don't think that you would have access to this information, that like all those spiritual experiences people talk about would happen to you. At least some of you guys are already on that. But honestly, meditate. You will be so shocked. That is your message. No doubt we ended with that. So if you guys have questions about being honest with yourself, how you can really get out of these like ruts that you might be in, figuring out what needs to be sacrificed, what call you're actually just not answering, stepping into your power, whatever questions you may have, Spirit is saying you've got to sit down and meditate. Even if don't have any expectation for meditation either. When you're sitting down, don't have an expectation of a spiritual experience that you want to have. Like, don't do any of that. Just meditate, because you never know. The meditation itself, you might have an experience during the meditation. You might have an experience after. It might do something to you in a different way that you're expecting. But meditation is like, I'm not even kidding. It's just like, it's honestly kind of crazy. Like, it might make your dreams more vivid. You have no idea what it's going to help bring to you, right? So that's what Spirit is recommending to you right now. I'm recommending that as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this message. If you guys have any questions or suggestions about videos that you'd like to see from me in the future, please let me know. I don't have to do tarot videos either. Like, I honestly want to just like do other types of videos. So if you guys have like ideas about anything, let me know. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.